Welcome to the Longevity Program, a program designed with a really simple goal in mind, and that is to live longer, stronger. Not just in theory, which will be covered, but in real life, and not just a guru's life, a real warts and all life, mine. But what happens when you take a 49-year-old Aussie guy turning 50 on the 1st of January 2024 and apply a whole lot of best practice techniques to his life to see whether or not those longevity techniques that you've tried actually work, so he can hit that milestone in the best shape of his life and then continue past that milestone absolutely loving life. How does this best practice that I've studied over many years apply to a dad, to a husband, to a son who's looking after elderly parents, and also from a professional point of view to a man who's looking after a multi-billion-dollar organization? And with those two lives coming together, how does this all fit? Can these practices be done in today's modern and hectic schedule? And what impact do they have, not just on how I feel mentally, but also how my body reacts physically? And not just how I feel subjectively, but how I'm able to measure things objectively. How can I determine whether or not this is actually working? To this end, I'm going to measure my journey and share my results with all of you in a number of ways. First, I'll take a body DEXA scan in January, in June, and in December. Now, this DEXA body scan is going to tell me what my body fat percentage is, my bone density, and my muscle mass, and see if there's any change whatsoever in going through this program. I'll also be taking an extensive blood test. And this extensive blood test that I'll do once a quarter will look at things like my cortisol levels, look at my testosterone levels, look at my iron, magnesium, and other things that would indicate whether or not I am progressing in the direction that I want to progress in. I'll test my blood glucose levels and my ketone levels, in particular when I'm going through fasting periods. I'll journal my thoughts and get a clear understanding subjectively whether or not this is having any impact whatsoever. And finally, I'll track key statistics using a little device here I've got on my wrist called a Whoop. And it'll tell me how my heart rate variability is going and what my resting heart rate is doing and how my sleep is going. They're three key stats that I'll also be looking at. Now, when it comes to practices during the year, there are 6 core practices that I'll be completing as part of this longevity program. During the year in the program, I will be consistently, I hope, going through 6 core processes as part of the longevity program. And those processes are as follows. The first one is move. I am going to be exercising on a regular basis, moving my body between 4 and 6 times a week. And then in September, I'm going to be participating in a super exciting event in Whistler, Canada called 29029. I'm super pumped for that one. Secondly, I'm going to focus on what I call nourish, clean eating on a plant-based diet. No hidden nasties, no added sugar, no unnecessarily processed food. Avoiding, actually no, you know what? I'm going to eliminate altogether things like hot chips, my absolute kryptonite. And then finally, I'm going to have 0 alcohol through the whole of 2023. I giggle a little bit because that's a big move for me. I'm also going to be incorporating both intermittent fasting as well as multi-day fasting at various times throughout the year. So say, for example, I'll do a 3-day fast once a quarter with a good colleague, friend of mine who has joined on board with me, and I'm really looking forward to that one as well. The third thing I'm going to be focusing on is what I call regenerate. And that is looking after my sleep, in that I want to put my head on the pillow and have 7 hours of sleep, or at least 7 hours of being in bed every single night, or at least as many nights as I can possibly have that. The next and 4th step in the longevity program journey for me is what I call meditate. It's as simple as it sounds. I'll be meditating for 10 minutes a day minimum. The 5th is what I call reflect, and that is journaling. So important. And whenever I've been able to, and I've got to say, this is the one that I have struggled with the most in previous attempts at bringing together this program. I have an on and off relationship with journaling. Anyway, this year, every single day, I'm going to journal a number of things. First and foremost, what I call a morning observation, how things are traveling first thing in the morning, some key statistics from my group, and then I'll look at what am I grateful for, what are the key reflections from the day, what are my key learnings, and really importantly, what are the key actions that I want to take from those learnings. And then finally, and number 6, is what I call oxygenate. And this is a focus on breathing practices. Every morning and every evening, I do a simple breathing practice that I'll share with you in the future. And I'll also incorporate Wim Hof inspired breathing when I'm doing an ice bath, at least 5 out of 7 days a week. 3 degrees, 3 minutes. Along the way, I'm going to share hacks about what works well, what I'm really feeling great about, and really importantly, where I fail. I might even find a guest or two along the way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the box seat as I go through what I think it takes to live longer and stronger in this crazy, hectic modern world.